Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Valley Today Ag Show for our farm news now. And we're, of course, live in Lemoore in front of the Dagny Taggart as Valley News Live Riding the Rails. Day number 2 begins right here in Lemoore City Park. But driving down to Lemoore yesterday from Kindred and Lisbon, boy, the crops look pretty good. And the first thing I noticed is what fantastic potential they have outside of a few hail spots. So we're going to talk with Dan Zink here about shipping all of that crop that's coming. And, of course, Jason Pronto from Larson Grain. The crops look fantastic in this part of the country.
They do. They look really nice. We had a sluggish spring here to start out. We had a dry weather going into the crop, but boy, we got some rain there, a little bit too much for a while, but boy, in the last month or so, it's really come around, so things are looking fantastic.
A few hail streaks along Highway 46, I noticed, but in Lemoore County, how'd the hail treat you there in that wet period?
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate with the hail. You know, it's been streaky, but overall, we've got a pretty nice crop coming. So
what I noticed here versus even western Richland and southern Cass County is higher population. You plant pretty thick out here.
Well, we try to sell a little extra seed every now and again. So no, we do. We plant pretty thick, and we're shooting for probably 150 bushel corn in the area. So you know, if we can get that, we're pretty happy.
I also noticed that in Richland, Cass, and even parts of Ransom, most of the wheat is turned already, and a little bit, maybe a week or two behind here.
Yeah, we're, typically we'd probably be combining right about now, but we're probably about a week out of starting to get going on some wheat, and, it looks pretty good as well. So it is turning pretty rapidly now, and we're looking forward to it coming in the door here soon. So. Yeah,
the Wheat Quality Council is fanning out from Fargo across North Dakota today. They'll be doing their count, so everybody in southeast North Dakota, watch out for the guys. There'll be some people from the wheat industry walking through your wheat field, so let them walk and let them do their count. The issue, any agronomic issues? How's the scab or vomitoxin here?
You know, we haven't seen any problems yet. Last year we had some issues with lower falling numbers and some vomitoxin in the wheat, but it's yet to be seen this year. With the wet year that we had, could be a little bit of an issue, but we're hoping for the best right now. But like I said, we just haven't got into it yet, so we'll see. All
right, Jason Pronto, Larson Grain. The good news for you, Jason, we run out of time to talk about basis levels, so that's okay.
Next time.
Okay, Thanks, you bet. All right. Big crop, we got to move it down the line, and we're talking with Dan Zink of Red River Valley and Western, and Dan, the first thing to go might be the wheat or even some of last year's wheat. When people call and say, hey, I got a train for you, what do they have in it?
Well, we're all wondering how much is really out there in the country. The reports earlier were there was a lot of corn out there, and the beans I think mostly moved over the first 9 months or so after harvest. But we can get cars here, especially we're going to move it locally into an ethanol plant or into the corn syrup plant or something like that. So we're not seeing any really serious challenges getting it moved out when the crop does come in. We've seen some barley knocked down already, and I understand a wheat field or two. So we're just barely getting started, and we've not moved any new crop that I'm aware of. But there's still some old crop coming out, and we're also looking forward to a big crop. We're all about volume, so when the crop comes in, we'll be there to pick it up.
How much further west than Lemoore does Red River Valley and Western go?
Not very far. We actually go from Lemoore out as far as Edgeley, and that's the western edge of our territory in the southeastern part of the state. We also go north of here through Jamestown, up through Carrington, and all the way to Maddock, and that's the extent of our system on the west end.
All right. Are you in competition with, say, wheat growers down there in South Dakota, or are you all friends, or how?
Well, we really don't compete with the growers. There's other railroads, including other shortline railroads in the area that we compete with, especially out here. We can compete with the Dakota, Missouri Valley, and Western. In fact, we both have shuttle train customers in Oaks, North Dakota. So yeah, there's competition for the grain out here between short lines, and also the Canadian Pacific runs right through the middle of our territory. We call it our territory. They may call it their territory, but so yeah, we compete with the other railroads all the time, and of course with trucks moving grain to a number of places too.
Right. All right, Dan Zink of Red River Valley and Western. Thanks so much for yesterday we talked about a lot. It's going to be a good season, so we've got a lot of grain to move.
It's going to be a great season.
You bet. All right. Thanks a lot. That's our farm news. Coming right back after the break, Robert will check the weather, then we'll check the markets, and we'll be back from Lemoore as Valley News Live Riding the Rails Day 2 gets underway.